The year is 1996, and the survival horror genre is about to be changed forever with the release of
Resident Evil.
In this video, I'll be covering the original 1996 version of the game, released on the PlayStation 1, and the 2002 remake made for the GameCube, and later, newer consoles such as the Xbox, the newer PlayStation, and the Wii. Conceived by producer Tokihiro Fujiwara, and developed and ran by Shinji Mikami, it went through several redesigns, first as a Super NES game in 1993, then a fully 3D first-person PlayStation game in 1994, and finally, a third-person game. Little did they know that this game would be cited as one of the most influential and greatest video games of all time. It was even credited with returning zombies, popular culture at the time, and a franchise that spans over many years, featuring multiple sequels, remakes, prequels, and more. So, let's dive right into the story. The year is 1998. A series of bizarre murders occur on the outskirts of the fictional Midwestern town of Raccoon City. Stars, a special investigation team of the Raccoon City Police Department, is sent into the mountains to investigate. The first team, Bravo, hasn't checked in, so it's up to Alpha Team to find their missing squad mates and figure out what is going on. Alpha Team is made up of
Chris Redfield. Valentine. Barry Burton.
However, shortly after arriving and finding Bravo Team's helicopter, the team is suddenly attacked and lose a member. The remaining team members are forced to run into an unknown mansion after their own helicopter leaves them behind.
Go! Don't go!
This is just the intro. At this point, the player decides who they want to play, Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine, with the story and gameplay changing slightly based on who you choose, but also having different abilities as well. This was a common feature in old school games. Another great example of this would be Nightmare Creatures. Chris is faster and has more health, and the story companion is Rebecca, the sole survivor of Bravo Team and medic. Jill has more pocket space and better weapon variety, as well as lockpicks.
Well, if we get lost, we should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
And her companion is Barry. Out of the two playthroughs, Jill is slightly more easier, as she also gets to avoid a boss later on. And the lockpicks allow her to open doors a lot earlier in-game compared to Chris, who has to find small keys for them. The rest of the story involves the player exploring the mansion and finding evidence that the pharmaceutical company, Umbrella, are the ones performing illegal experiments, which created the creatures around the mansion. The player also discovers that the scientists are stupid and accidentally expose themselves to the T-virus, which then led to the creation of the zombies around the mansion. After discovering this, the player will actually find the leader of Redfield Team, still alive. Rebecca, you aren't the only...
Let us up!
Enrico!
Oh. Ooh. Never mind. Yeah, Rebecca's still the only surviving member. Before his death, however, he reveals that there is a traitor in Stars. After this, the player will then stumble upon the secret underground lab and find Wesker, who is revealed to be the traitor, and plans to use the Tyrant, a ultimate life form, to kill the remaining members.
Is this?
That's right. This is the ultimate life form. Tyrant! Chris? Stop it! Come this way! No!
After that sad display, the player kills the Tyrant, activates the self-destruct, and escapes to the rooftop for the happy end. No, okay. Alright, I gotta stop speaking so soon. Okay, so now the player has to fight the Tyrant for a second time on the rooftop. After being able to contact the helicopter pilot, who then drops off a juicy rocket launcher, the player is finally able to actually kill Tyrant this time and escape. The game has multiple endings depending on who you chose and who you were able to save, with the canon being that Chris, Jill, Barry, and Rebecca all made it out, as they all appear in later games in the series. The gameplay is puzzle-based, but the main objective is to explore the mansion and slowly dive deeper and deeper inside, by finding puzzle pieces on one side, then backtracking to solve a puzzle on the other side of the mansion. With the secondary gameplay being fighting the monsters, collecting ammo, making sure inventory space isn't being cluttered. The player will be fighting multiple types of monsters, from the classic zombies, giant snakes, spiders, and a lot more, with the remake even adding another enemy type, but I don't want to touch on them too much because they're actually a really nice surprise. Resident Evil was the very first game I played. It holds a special place in my heart. If you ask me, the original version of the game still holds up today. I feel like the only issue people would have is the camera and the inverted controls, but at least the remaster gives you the option to change the controls so they're not inverted. The camera I kinda like, as it does make you feel like you're playing a horror movie of sorts, and it makes it seem a little bit more claustrophobic, and it does keep you on your toes. The only thing I see wrong with people having with the original as well is probably the voice acting, as it can be a little weird sometimes.
Hurry! This way!
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life. But Barry, didn't you say you're going back to the dining room to do some research? Why on earth are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Now, let's get back to searching for the lost captain and Chris, shall we?
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah.
In all honesty, it gives it a little campy vibe, and it's honestly not that bad in some spots. It's bad. It's honestly terrible. It really is. But I love it in like its own weird way, you know? And in a weird way, the remaster tries to kind of capture that vibe again, but it really can't pull it off as well. The RE remake treatment that Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 4 is going to get, I think that's fine. Disappointing, but fine. You can really tell how much love and thought was put into this game. In the original Resident Evil 1 booklet that came with the game, they had character bios for not only Alpha Team, but also Bravo Team, so you could read on your missing squad mates before you even booted the game up. Basically, they created this whole world, this whole backstory for these characters just for this game, a game that they didn't know was going to do as well as they thought it was. There's a lot of stuff like this just around that you can just find of the creators obviously creating these sort of backstories for the characters and giving a lot more depth into the world before they show up to this mansion. It makes them seem less one-dimensional. They're not just a character trapped in a really crappy situation, they're a person. They woke up this morning and did not expect this to happen, and now it is, and they just want to see the next sunrise. And not all the games in the series are good, but most of them are. And it all started with Resident Evil 1. And alright, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new around here and also enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button. And leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on Resident Evil 1. Have you played it? What's your favorite Resident Evil in the franchise? I'll probably cover it soon, as I want to cover the rest of the series, as I really did enjoy making this video. Okay, bye-bye for now, guys.